Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Executive Insights by Shipping and Freight Resource. I'm Harish Manadia, the founder of Shipping and Freight Resource and Shipping and Freight Academy. Today, I have a bit of a local flavor, and I'm going to be featuring the chairperson of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, the South African branch, Goscelin. Good morning, Goscelin, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Harish. It's really wonderful to be joining you this morning. Thank you so much.
Could you give a brief introduction about yourself for the benefit of the audience?
Absolutely, Harish. So, Harish, I'm actually a practicing attorney. I've been practicing for over a decade now. I've been practicing in the maritime sphere. As far as the ICS goes, I joined the ICS. I did all my professional qualifying exams, and I joined the ICS in 2018. And the reason that I initially decided to start with the ICS was because I found that while I might have had expertise in the maritime law side of things, I wanted to broaden my knowledge and have a deeper understanding of the industry as a whole, obviously to fit things together a bit better. So yes, I joined as a member in 2018, and since then I've headed the education side of things. I've been the vice chair, and I've recently, as of this year, am the new chair for the South African branch. And I'm looking forward to the next few years and excited about what we're going to be doing in the branch.
Great. So, as the newly elected chairperson of ICS SA, what are some of your key priorities for 2025 and beyond?
Sure, Harish. Well, one of our core pillars as the ICS has always been education. So we are going to continue to focus on our educational offering, continue to update it, continue to keep it relevant, and continue to make it something that brings value to our students. And obviously, that in turn is going to help us with growing our membership numbers. And we're also looking at in 2025 and beyond, we'd like to initiate and strengthen partnerships with maritime industry and other organizations within the maritime sphere. And we have a global network of members and of officers, Harish. So we'd like to do a bit more to leverage that global networking and provide some more benefit to our members, building relationships across borders. So that's what we're looking at, what our priorities are for the next few years for the ICS in South Africa.
That's great to hear. But you're also cognizant of the fact there are some challenges in the maritime industry currently. And how does ICS SA prepare its members to navigate such issues that are happening currently?
Sure, Harish. Well, what we try to do is obviously because we have a global network, it is beneficial to us in keeping informed, especially from a head office level, to keeping update and what things need to be changing. But from our side, obviously, it is important to us that we remain relevant and that we do add value to our members. So we continually try to keep an eye on what's happening in industry and start discussions around what's happening in industry and try to get our members and students involved in discussions around what's happening in the industry and how we can move forward in the industry.
Great. And talking about partnerships, you had a rather successful one at the inaugural South African Shipping Gala. That was a major milestone, I think, for ICS South Africa. What have you seen as some of the key takeaways from this event and in terms of collaboration and the future of the industry in South Africa?
Well, sure. Firstly, it's really wonderful that we are in a position as an industry where we have achievements that we can celebrate, like we did at the Shipping Gala. But one of the key takeaways from that for us was really that there's a lot of interest in South Africa to have a more unified maritime sector, and there's interest in more collaboration and building relationships there. So we do believe that the Maritime Gala, it was a really wonderful networking event. It had people from all across the maritime industry were there. So it was an important place for relationships either to be cemented and strengthened or to be made. And obviously we are hoping that those relationships that you make there continue and you can grow and build more partnerships from there. Personally, from the Institute's side, we have definitely seen that we have leading on or coming on from that event, we have had opportunities to, get involved in other partnerships with other organizations. We've also had other organizations approaching us that saw the success of the gala in 2024 and are interested in getting involved for the 2025 gala. So it is very exciting, and it is something that we're hoping to grow and keep going in the industry, and because obviously growing relationships and fostering collaboration will increase innovation in the industry, so and create more opportunities. So we really do think it is a wonderful event, and we're looking forward to it to be successful for many years.
Okay. So you see it evolving over the years into something more definitive, more useful for the maritime community, and for it to have a good impact on the community. So apart from this shipping gala that you did, what other initiatives is ICS SA looking at to, say, for example, increase engagement within the stakeholders? Because there's a lot of, as you rightly mentioned, there's a lot of things happening right now, but we all need to come together as a community to serve that better. How do you see ICS SA's role in that?
Sure, Harish. Well, as we mentioned, we're looking at getting into more strategic partnerships. So within other bodies in the industry um, to assist with that. And then we're also looking at increasing our profile and visibility in South Africa by attending key conferences and events, which we believe will be a benefit to all of our members and our students. And we're also looking at doing, more focused networking events and having more educational workshops. So really bringing value and adding to our members and our students' journeys with us in those ways.
Right. And obviously, the Institute's core focus is on education and providing world-class education. Are there any new initiatives or advancements in this area for the industry as a whole, and also for ICS South Africa?
Absolutely, Harish. So firstly, just from the ICS South Africa perspective, we've recently gotten a new group of student representatives that have come on board this year. And they're very dynamic and very keen and very committed to the students' educational journeys. They've already been having brainstorming sessions about better ways to prepare students for exams, setting up socializing sessions there. So we are doing quite a lot more on our student side there. But in terms of how we're going to be with the industry, how we're going to be improving in terms of education, our courses are constantly under review at a head office level to ensure that they do remain relevant. And so there are some of the courses at the moment where the syllabuses are being reworked to bring them further into current times. And there are also reviews that go quite regularly on subjects themselves. So they do continually look to see whether a subject is still relevant, whether students are still finding benefit from that, or whether that subject should be, slowly phased out of the syllabus and new subjects introduced. I believe at the moment there is discussion around possibly introducing a new subject with containerization, which obviously would be very relevant. So that is quite exciting. And we are looking at, so obviously with more digitalization and technology, we do look at moving our workshops and our interactions with students, where there are a lot more platforms that we can use for face-to-face interactions and when we're lecturing. So that is very useful from that perspective. And in South Africa as well, previously we did have all of our courses were offline, but we've now brought our Understanding Shipping course online, and we're hoping to bring other courses online in time. And in the Institute as a whole, we are hoping to get exams themselves online within the next few years. So there are some exciting things happening on the education side, and we are progressing and we are changing with the times, and we are trying to remain relevant in terms of introducing technology and digitalization into our offering.
I'm glad to hear that you're going online, because I pity the evaluator who was evaluating my writing. It was horrible. Yeah, the handwriting
It
was
has
not
been a
that nice.
difficulty, yes. No, for sure, Rich.
Good. So glad to hear that ICS is also looking at the digitalization options, because I think that is something that you need to integrate into the programs, and not just in terms of how the exams are written or delivered, but I think in terms of the syllabus itself. Is there anything that is coming up in terms of digital transformation type of things within the space?
Well, Harish, we do have, like I mentioned, our online understanding shipping course. We actually have our syllabus is no longer, and then you can still get the textbook, but it is then also online there. And on that particular platform, it is quite useful because it does have some add-ins, where you can, there's a sort of a glossary of shipping terms and things like that. So that particular platform is quite useful for students when they're submitting and getting more information on that. But we also, we do also see the value in things like AI and, for research purposes and for putting together assignments and, having a bit of extra information. So there are a lot of exciting things happening in the technological side, obviously with great advancements in where you can get information, how you can do research. So we really think that it is quite evolving in quite a nice way, and that there really are a lot of opportunities for you to get a lot of really good information pretty much anywhere off the web.
All right. And what is ICS South Africa's, or at least ICS as a whole, what is the emphasis on nurturing the next generation? Because Africa is also a youngish population that is growing, and we need more maritime leaders and maritime professionals in the industry. How do you think ICS can play a role in that?
No, sure, Harish. Well, all of our members at the ICS South Africa, when you become a member, you sign a code of conduct, which does, set out that you should act in particular ways in business relationships and promote integrity and things like that in your business relationships. So those are the caliber of people that we have, that we are looking at, that are doing our tutorship and our mentorship, and that are actually interacting with our students, on a regular basis. And so by getting our students to interact with people who are living the ICS motto of our word, our bond, we feel it really inspires them to complete their studies and to then join the membership and also live by those principles.
Good. And as a chairperson of this important industry or an important industry organization, what is the legacy that Jocelyn wants to leave behind?
Harish, I'd like to leave a legacy behind that the Institute remains relevant and that it's capable of adapting to the times, because obviously, as we've seen, things just continue to change more quickly and more quickly. So it's important for us that we remain at the forefront of advancements and of changes, because we do want to remain an institute that brings a lot of value to our members and to our students. So we'd really like to focus on that, and then obviously we'd also, as we've mentioned, we'd like to have somewhere where it's good for our members to build relationships and collaborations. That's why we want to do more with industry and more with other professional organizations, just so we can have the opportunity for our members to do more with other members who they might not be interacting with necessarily in industry. So that's hopefully what my legacy will be, Harish.
Well, wish you all the best for that legacy. Jocelyn,
Thank you.
and then a final question. Do you have any words of inspiration or advice for some of the younger students, and to ensure that they continue to be excellent within the South African shipping industry?
Absolutely, Harish. Well, I feel that in order to be successful in the South African shipping industry, or in any shipping industry, in fact, you need to have definitely technical knowledge and skills. And you also need to build strategic relationships for where you want to be going in terms of your educational journey, or in terms of where you want to be working. And I feel that the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers is an organization that provides our students with both of those things. We provide them with the education that they need to perform effectively within the industry and within particular spheres in the industry. And we also provide them with the opportunity to make connections and relationships that can benefit them going down the road.
Great sentiments, Goscelin, and for the listeners, it's a privilege to be called a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers. Like I am also a fellow of the Institute. Goscelin is a fellow, and we've got quite a few around the world. And it is very heartening to see all the efforts by the Institute to promote the industry. So, Goscelin, thank you very much for your time today, and wish you and the Institute all the very best in the coming days.
Thank you so much, Haresh, and yeah, we're looking forward to the future.